What's up, y'all? It's Wednesday, so y'all know what time it is. It's time for Wednesday's Word for Women. Yes, I am so excited. Y'all know I'm verklempt. Oh my gosh, I hope your day has been flipping along fantabulously thus far. Your week, matter of fact, up to this point. But if not, y'all know our motto, even if it is, we still flip through the Rolodexes of our minds and we grab a hold of something to be grateful and thankful for. Because honestly, guys, we might not be who we want to be. And things might not be going the way we want it to go. But thank God we are not who we used to be. And things are not as bad as they could be. I tell you, I say it every week. When I think about the person that I was, and I don't have it all together, I'm not there. You don't just spiritually arrive, but you do get better and you do evolve and you do go from grace to grace and glory to glory. And so as I look at the miles that I have traveled, as I look at the things that I used to do that had me, that were controlling me, when I think about the people I've hurt, and when I think about the mistakes I made and the messes I created, I can't do anything but praise God that I am where I am today, that I am who I am today. You're going to have to get that in your spirit, because as David says, sometimes you got to encourage yourself. You're not going to have a cheer camp. You're not going to have a rah-rah crowd. You're not going to have those around your support. You're going to have to encourage yourself. But that should be the easiest thing, because when you think about how it could be, oh my gosh, you will be content in exactly what you have it. I promise you, boo-boo, there are people that are that their marriages are, today is the day they go before that judge and dissolve that covenant that they made, that they built their life around and thought it will last forever, and they got rejected. That today is the day someone's walking into work at 7 o'clock and gonna be gone by 7:30 because they got a pink slip. Today is the day a mother buries her son, a father buries his daughter. Today is the day that someone gets diagnosed with a sickness. Today is the day that a mother or father or caregiver don't know how they're going to pay the bills or how they're going to feed the family. Today is the day that someone don't understand what happened to their mind and just shattered. Today is the day that wars start. Today is the day of so many things that people are going through, and we never belittle our struggle. We never compare it to another. We just be grateful and thankful for that we're graceful with exactly our situation, and we be thankful that we understand the Lord is with us and we can get through. You can rock whatever situation you are in, because you are not alone. He will never leave you and forsake you. He will never put more on you than you can bear. If you are in whatever you are in, that means that you can process through it. I didn't say fly through it. I said process through it. And he will never leave you. In this life, we will have trouble, but take heart, dear ones. We have one that has overcome the world. And so sometimes that is all that we have. But oh my gosh, that's enough. You feel me? You might not have somebody saying, I love you. You might not have somebody check it out. But you have one that is overcome for you, and you're walking through paths that he's created. That's enough. You have one whose love never, ever fails. That's enough. But he's so gracious, guys. He knows we're still in the natural realm. We still here. And so we have a God that loves to give gifts to his children as well. And so you just hold on, because one thing we do know, we can't lean to our own understanding. In all our ways we acknowledge and follow him, and he'll make the path straight. Take the pressure off yourself. Stop wondering how and start focusing on who. All right. So, Joshua, my dude, Bold and Courageous series. I'm telling you, y'all, it's time out for mediocrity. It's time out for lackadaisicalness. It's time out for complacency. It's time out for flat out laziness and coasting. It's time out for averageness. It's time out for just accepting the status quo and the same old, same old. It's time out for that. He is calling us to be bold and courageous, to get out here as Joshua did and change and flip cultures. And so we know from the start of this that the command to be bold and courageous is actually just that, a command. He has commanded us, be strong, be courageous, be strong, be courageous, be strong, be courageous, because he understands that our tendency is going to be weak and fearful. And we know that that is not from him, but that is our first tendency. Don't fool me now. Our first tendency is to be like, oh no, I'm scared. So that is okay. That's why he commands you, be bold and courageous and fear not, because he didn't give you the spirit of fear, but he gave us power, love, and a sound mind. And so courageousness is simply doing something afraid. It is feeling the feelings, thinking the thoughts, and you do whatever he commanded you to do anyway. We can do that. We can do that. And so we know that it is from God, it is for God, and it is fueled by God. And then another week we talked about to do this, we have to be counterculture. That means that we are going to have to be doing unprecedented things. We are going to have to go unlikely places, and we're going to interact with unlikely people. That's just the way it's going to be. And to be bold and courageous, we also know that we are going to have to evolve into a different version of ourselves that we have not been, because in that chapter, he talked about you have not been this way before. So you have not been the person that needs to be to exist and rock whatever this way, this bold and courageous way he has for you to go in. You haven't been there before. And so this is going to be the demand for you to level up, demand a better version of you. And that means you're going to have to get your character together. You're going to have to let him work out those little cracks in your character so they won't be chasms out here publicly ruining some stuff. And you're going to have to become comfortable in obscurity, because that is when he is going to make you. You will be made by him, not marketed by man. And so you have to have those seasons of obscurity for him to do the work in you and bring out that stuff that needs to come out, because ultimately he wants you to succeed. He's not setting you up for failure. He's setting you up to be bold and courageous and trail new ground and do new things. And so then last week we talked about how we've got to destroy the monuments in our life that will hinder us. Yes, we have memorials, because we need to remember and we need to learn from the mistakes and the failures and all those things that he's working out. You need to learn from it. There's lessons in the loss, but you cannot set it up as a monument. You cannot keep it because it will hinder you. And so we tear down the monuments, but we take the lesson from the memorial, and we always remember exactly what it is that we've learned and where it is he's brought us from. And then now we're going to be in chapter 5, Joshua chapter 5. This one is so jam-packed. I'm going to try to speed through like this one chapter. It's a lot going on, y'all. Like, just bold and courageous. It's like, this is the guy. Study this guy. I mean, he lays out the steps that it's going to take. But thank God we just walk in it. We're not making ourselves bold and courageous. It's not personality. This is not what we're talking about. It's not if you're an introvert or extrovert. That's not what this is about. This is about a boldness and courageous that he draws and he creates in you. And so you do uncommon things. You do bold and courageous things. And so I'm going to be skipping around in this chapter, but I want to start with chapter 5, verse 1. Now it happened when all the kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan to the west, and all the kings of the Canaanites who were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan before the Israelites until they had crossed over. Their hearts melted in despair, and there was no fighting spirit in them any longer because of the Israelites and what God had done for him. Okay, so see, this is the part in our journey of the Bold and Courageous series, in the Bold and Courageous journey in your life, that the Lord has made way for you. He has made room for you. You will start to see that things are lining up and you're about to step out into these roles. But you don't have to be fearful. You could still be bold and courageous and not fearful, because as you see, he has gone ahead of you. The people heard about them. Their fight left them. They had just heard about the people. So you don't toot your own home. Don't blast out here. Don't be promoting yourself. You don't need to do that. The works that you do, the things that you're doing, that he's doing in you, will be seen, and that speaks for you. You don't need to market yourself. You just need to be made by God. And in doing that, people see. They might not say nothing. They might not give you encouragement, but I'm telling you, they know who you are. They know what you are about. So don't you promote yourself. You ain't got to be out here slanging yourself. You don't have to sell yourself. You don't need to sell yourself in the economy of God. He goes before you. He elevates you. And those are the paths you want to walk in, because otherwise you're going to have to keep you there, and you're going to have to keep selling yourself. And then what you get out of the will of God, what you make out of the will of God, you're going to have to sustain, and you're not going to be able to do it. So take a lesson from the children of Israelites in Joshua. They heard of the works that the Lord did for them, but that the works of the Lord did for them. And so people and places and things that you are going to go in and take ground will be the same. Okay? So this is the beginning of this. I like to call you, this is your coming out. This is your making room. You're about to, it's about to be popping. It's about to get popping. And so there's some very strategic things, and there's some very important things that you need to put in your mind, because it's about to get real. Okay? It's about to, that playtime is over. It's not a practice. This is not a drill. This is a real thing. So I'm going to read verse 2. At the time the Lord said to Joshua, make for yourselves flint knives and circumcise the new generation of the sons of Israel as was done before. Okay, first of all, you need to understand circumcision. Circumcision was so important. Now we understand after the newcomer, after Jesus, AC, after Christ, that this was not needed to be done, but this was actually a sign of God's covenant to Abraham. Like, this was the gist of the promise. This was a sign of the promise. And so Genesis verse 17 verse 4, I want you to hear how important circumcision is, and it was a command from God. Verse 17, Genesis chapter 17 verse 10, this is the sign of my covenant which you shall keep and faithfully obey between me and you and your descendants after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised. So this is not a game. Circumcised, it's not like now today it's like you get a choice. Do I want my son circumcised or not? No, this was a command. This was a sign. If you were a child of the promise, you must be circumcised. This was exclusive to the recipients of the promise. And so it was that important, y'all. It wasn't a game. And so now I'm going to flip down to verse 6. And verse 6. I'm back in chapter 5, Joshua. For the Israelites walked 40 years in the wilderness until all the nation, that is the men of war who came up out of Egypt, died, because they did not listen to the voice of the Lord to them. And the Lord swore an oath that he would not let them see the land which he had promised to their fathers to give us, a land of abundance flowing with milk and honey. So it was that their uncircumcised sons, whom he raised up in their place, whom Joshua had circumcised, because circumcision had not been performed on the way. Okay, so here is a crucial thing. Okay, so y'all know the story. The Israelites wandered around in the desert for 40 years because they did not obey. They just kept on tripping. So God said, you're not, Moses actually y'all not making it into the promised land. So they wandered around for 40 years until all those people died off. But in doing that, they still had sons. And so the children of the people that he said that were not going, they were going to go into the promised land, but he would not allow them to be circumcised until all of that old died off. Okay, so here's something that I know a lot of people are not going to like. There is going to be a transference. There is going to be a transference of how things are done. God is a big God. No diss to the traditions, to those things that make your denomination special. That's who you are. No diss to that. But you must understand, there is going to come a point that there will be a transference. God is not God is not, I'm doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? God is always moving, always evolving. Now, these things are new to us. It's not new to him. He is the same today as he was yesterday, as he'll be forever. But for us who are in time, who are living in this existence, some things are new to us. Things will be new to us. He will do different moves and it will be new to us. But it's okay because we can trust. You don't have to be scared of the new because we can trust in the faithfulness of him because he does remain the same. He is the same. His faith never wavers. His love, his support, it never wavers. He's the same today as he was then, as he will be forever. But you have to know, you cannot get so stuck in some stuff. We're cutting off our noses to spite our face because we refuse to see when God is moving in a different direction. You will be amazed at how many people are still in the same spot and God done moved on a long time ago. He has tried to tell you that there's got to be a transference of things. And I'm going to just tell you this. If you will not move with him, you will get left in the moves of God. You have to be comfortable in knowing that it is not going to be the same and you're not going to be stagnant. God is not a steel. He didn't do this thing for you to become comfortable in what it is that he did 40, 50 years ago. That's not what it is. We are to go continually. Go make disciples, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them all that I have taught you. Go where different places, different spots, different ways. The message stays the same, but the way that we deliver it to different people is what changes. People hear different. People learn different. We are in a different time, and you cannot make your tradition and your denominations your God. You have to move. When God say move just like that, you move just like that, or you will get left and you will not do these bold and courageous moves that he's trying to do in this time, in this generation, because we seem to forget the simple fact that it is not just about us. There is a generation who do not know God, and we have to reach them in a way that they can understand. And so if I have to give up something that I hold dear, a tradition, to do the work of the Lord, then I will give it up, because my comfort and my preference is not my God. He is, and the work he's doing. So you have to grab a hold of the fact that stuff is going to change. The only thing that is unchangeable is the Lord. All right. So we are going to jump over to verse 12. Very important part as well. So verse 12, and the manna ceased on the day after they had eaten some of the produce of the land, so that the Israelites no longer had manna, but they ate some of the produce of the land of Canaan during the year. Now, so they had been fed by manna every day. The Lord fed them with manna every day. Well, that way it is officially dead. Some stuff in your life, dear heart, is dead. It will no longer work. You will not be able to do things the same old way that you have been done. It will not work. God has caught it up. It's done. It's done. Stop it. But it's okay. It's okay, but you are going to stop. If he's leading you, if he's speaking to your heart, or some of the things that you're doing that you know is played out, that you know you have outgrown a long time ago, that you know has stopped working a long time ago, or that is working, but it's just working on a small level, or it's just working to a certain group of people, then you know that is played out. It's done. It is done. Now we're going to be in a bold and courageous way of doing it. And if you will just open yourself to him, he will show you the way to do that. Okay, now, verse 13. Now when Joshua was by Jericho, he looked up, and behold, a man was standing opposite of him, drawn with his drawn sword in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, are you for us or for our adversaries? Okay, I jumped ahead of myself. That is the last thing we're going to talk about, but I need to talk to some of y'all real quick about this period of when the Lord is going to be doing that transference of things. I want you to understand, okay, so that's not going to be an easy thing. And you might be lonely. So for you that you seem like you don't fit into the clique, or that you just don't quite fit in, or you're thinking you're cool where you at, but you understand that there is a pull for something more, for something different. That's okay, because it was a new generation of things, but they still had to exist with the old ways. And so you have to understand, God would never, if he's trying to make you to do these bold and courageous new things. See, I'm doing the new things. You will never fit in. Why would he let you fit in with the old establishment that has it as the status quo stuff been done? You're not going to fit in, and that's okay. You are going to be the one that you show up to the party, but you're not quite in the life of the party. You know what I'm saying? You're not, you can function and you can serve and everything, but you will not fit in. There is a distinct difference. They know it and you know it, and that's okay. That's okay. I just want to encourage you. That is exactly where God wants you to be. He did not let the circumcision happen while they were amongst the old. He is doing a new thing. And so you've got to be comfortable, like I said, with that obscurity, because in obscurity is where he wants to do what? The new thing with you. So please take heart. Take heart, because what I just read you in verse 13, here it comes. And now when Joshua was by the Jericho, he looked up and a man was standing there opposite him with his sword drawn. And Joshua went to him and said, "Are you for us or against us, or our adversaries?" This is where you squad up. So this is where it's very important, the people that you have in your life. You don't want people. You don't want to be in the clique. You don't want to be into the status quo. You don't want to be in that, because for this new thing that he's doing, you're going to need people that move like you move, just like that. You're going to need people with like-mindedness. You're going to need people that can support and help you in this new arena, and that's going to take a vision of the new. You can't have one that the vision is stagnant and they just want to keep things as it is. So it's very important who your squad is, who your village is. Some of y'all are going to have to remove some people. It's not that you don't love them. It's not that they haven't helped you up to this part, but they cannot go with you to this next level, this new bold and courageous spot, because they will be the ones that influence you and make it okay for you to be complacent and scared and back away for these bold and courageous things that the Lord wants you to do. And so it's important that you are with like-minded people. And so the squad is there. You need to know who for you and who against you. Yeah, I'm sure by now you got an inkling of the people that are not for you. But you need to make darn sure that the people you're surrounding yourself are for you, are for this new, bold, courageous season that the Lord is taking you in, and those things that he wants you to evolve and grow into. All right. And so lastly, he said, verse 15, the captain of the Lord's army said to Joshua, "Remove your sandals from your feet, because the place where you are standing is holy, set apart to the Lord." And Joshua did so. Last thing, just encourage yourself. This is from the Lord. The bottom line is, you can't be who you was. You can't do what you used to do. You have to become a person of yourself you have never been before. Yes, you're going to be scared, but you are bold and courageous, and you don't have the spirit of fear. And so when that comes, that's not your new reality. The reality is you are one that is fear. You can be fearless. I didn't say you wouldn't feel it. I said, but you can be fearless. You don't have to let it hinder you. And so this is being set apart by God. So don't trip when you're literally set apart and it feels like you are this lone man on an island. Trust you. The church universal is more than your little local body. That's your church is your local body, but the church universal is every Christian believer everywhere, in every country, in every language. So no, you're just never alone. And the Holy Spirit is really going to comfort you and help you and get you through this. And as you go through this season, you are being made into someone you never imagined that you could be, and you will be able to effectively function in these bold and courageous places that he's taking you. So it is okay to be set apart. The best thing, you're not a carbon copy. You're not a mini-me. The goal is not to make you like them. The goal is for him to make you like he created you to be. You are wonderfully, fearfully, and fearfully and wonderfully made. You are created to do wonderful things. And so let him make you and what you're supposed to be, and not let somebody tell you because it's the common Christian culture or the popular Christian culture, or this is what people in your church do or your surroundings or your environment. No, you are set apart, dear heart, for a great work that he purposed for you, just for you to do in this earth realm. See you guys next week. And I bless you. I pray that you allow God to be God in your life. I pray that you believe him, take him at his word, because he is God. And since he's God, you are who he says you are. And since you are that, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, whatever process you're going to have to go through to become this person, to do these extraordinary things, these things that nobody thought that could be done. And the word will be a light and a lamp and guidepost to you if you will allow it. And just comfort yourself with the fact that, oh my gosh, I'm set apart by God. So if I'm set apart by him, I can't imagine what I'm going to do. So you need to live in expectancy now. It's time for us to become who it is and live in the fullness of him and show this world that it's not hopeless. There's nothing he can't do, and there's nobody out of the reach of redemption. And if you would just give him a chance, he will show you and make you into things that you never thought and will blow your mind. I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.